Good. So Professor Ikeya's presentation is titled Slash and Burn Agriculture and Millet Cultivation in Post-War Japan.
Okay. Thank you for Habu-san. My name is Ikeya. I'm working National Museum Ethnology Japan. Good afternoon and I think good morning, everybody. This is the first slide. These three slides show the pre-fire stage in the burning process. A man climbs up the tree and cut off the upper branch of the tree. After this, the cut of the branch are burned. Can you tell where each photo was taken? From left to right, Japan, Zambia, and India. When I look at these photos, I am noticing they are all doing the same work. I saw the outline my presentation. I'm preparing the three results. First one, changing the landscape, the transformation of the slash and burn farms after World War II. Second one, sustainable food production in 1960. Third one, slash and burn culture and local community in 2020. Today, time is limited. I want to focus on the number 2. Slash and burn has been conducted mainly in the humid tropics. However, it has been regarded as an activity that destroys tropical forest, emphasizing the destructive activity of cutting and burning down forest. In the Japanese archipelago, where 70% of the land area is mountainous, slash and burn has long persisted as a form of resource utilization of the mountainous terrain since ancient times. This report introduces the focus on change of the slash and burn agriculture and also slash and burn agriculture practice. This map shows the landscape of area where slash and burn agriculture is practiced in the world. Before and after 2010, there are 5 categories: high, moderate, low, very low, and none. In this figure, we can see slash and burn agriculture is spreading in the area below 30 degree north latitude. It is clear in the tropical region of South America, Africa, Southeast Asia, there are large areas where slash and burn has been stopped. It is said in the next 30 years it will disappear from the world. In addition, Japan is not included in this map, but slash burn agriculture is still practiced in Japan on a small scale. I have shortly introduced to compiled the list of the study of burning field in Japan. The study of slash and burn agriculture in the Japanese archipelago has been conducted for nearly 80 years in the past, and many of the research results come from human geography, Japanese folklore, ethnography, historical science, and agricultural science. Most of the research has been done in Japanese, that there are very few, I think 1 or 2 papers are written in English. In addition, there are few papers that place Japanese case in the context of global research trends. It is not clear how long slash and burn agriculture has been practiced in Japan. However, paddy rice cultivation is said to have been introduced by migrants from the Korean Peninsula in the 10th century BC. Later, by the 4th century BC, rice cultivation has reached to the northern part of Japan, and on the other hand, rice cultivation has introduced in some, this is mountain area, about only 100 years ago. This is the first result. I want to show the changing the slash burn farm on the national scales. This map shows the area of the burned fields and the percentage of farmers who burned fields in each municipality in 1950s. Let's look at the area of the slash and burn field, which is 500 chobu. 1 chobu is equal to 10,000 square meters. They are mostly found in the mountainous region, Shikoku and Kyushu areas. I compare the distribution of the slash and burn farm between 1950s, 2014s. Since the 1960s, it has declined and has ceased to exist in most areas, but it has persisted to the present day in some areas. Among this area, slash and burn agriculture still practiced today. Foxtail millet, called awa, Japanese barnyard millet, called soba, are grown in mountain village in southwestern Japan, include Shikoku and Kyushu. In addition, Tsuruoka City's Yamagata Prefecture has the largest area of the slash and burn cultivation and the largest number of workers in Japan today. This is also related to the local food culture here, where turnip grown by slash and burn are very delicious. This is the local scale I want to talk. This area photograph shows the distribution of burned field in a particular area in 1948. From this photo, it is not possible to identify the location of the burned field of each household, but it is possible to recognize a number of the allotted field areas. This is slash and burns, and this is larger than area of the forest. Is a very small part of the forest. I think that in that time, slash and burn agriculture expanding in the mountain immediately after World War II due to food shortage. I would like to show the 4 aerial photographs of 1947, 1966, 76, and 2021. From these photos, we can see the number of the burn field is decreased from 1947, 1966. 1976, shifting cultivation is disappears in that community. A second result, I would like to focus on the food productions. This is the definition of the slash burns. Slash burn is it is said it is a cyclonic type of the agriculture by which the existing vegetation of certain lands is cleared by using methods such as cutting branches and burnings. Crops are cultivated for a short period of time, then abandoned and reused after the fallow period, during which the land is restored by natural transitions. My main field research area is community in the Kyushu mountain range. In 1960, most villages sleep and work in farming. This is temporary farming camps. About 2 or 3 hours walk from the main village. This is surrounding this temporary house. This is a slash burns, slash and the farms. These 4 illustrations show the process of Japanese slash and burn agriculture. A, cutting the tree. This is branches. This after that, burning in the field and sowing millet and harvesting crops. And in the mountain of Kyushu, characteristic feature of the area is mountain tea is growing. After this harvesting, this is mountain tea is growing up. This is not so much cultivation, maybe semi-cultivation. This is I will not show the in detail. This is a cutting the tree. This is climbing and crossing and also cuttings. I want to show the introduce tea. Tea is a semi-domestic plant grows on the Foxtail millet farm. This is a 3rd years Foxtail millet. Tea is natural growing up. This tea has been used as a commodity since the Edo period. Kyushu brush slash and burn agriculture is characterized its commercial natures. After that, I think the transfer maybe to making people tea farms here. I want to show you the land use map of the local community. This map shows 1960s. Please look at the slash and burn farms here, and also wooded areas here, and also please bamboo bush and here. I can talking of these areas. I want to short explanation of the rotation system crops. First one, buckwheat, barnyard millet, azuki beans, foxtail millet, Japanese taro. This is very typical patterns. This map is very important over here. I think the slash and burn is a bit difficult for me, and this is a one family case at the same season in 1960s. One family simultaneously 5 farms. One farm is buckwheat, barnyard millet, azuki beans, and foxtail millet, Japanese taro, and also teas also. I think that it is very complicated system of the this farming system here. I want to show the area of the each farm. I want to show this is a area of the slash and burn farming at the same season per family in 1960s. I want to focus on number 3. Number 3 have 4 farms, total 29.3 ton. Ton is about 1,000 square kilometers. I can count on this ratio of steam cultivation area in a fall forest. I think the steam cultivation total area is about 1.73%. The fallow period of 15 years. I guess this system is enough land for slash and burn in these areas. I can summarize of this system. First 1 or 2 years, original ground, 3 and 4, slash and burn farm and tea, grassland, and forest. I think this is generally about 25 years, but in my field, 1960s, it takes about 15 years. I think according to the time, it is different of the fallow period. And lastly, third result, slash and burn cultivation, and after this is contemporary life of in these areas. After the finishing of the slash and burn cultivation, people to transfer to the foxtail millet near the houses. This is some crops, azuki beans, and some soybeans, some things. This is bamboo trees. Bamboo tree is also important of use for the life in these peoples. And also another type of the life, this people to this temporary house once used during slash and burn farming is now used for shiitake mushroom cultivations. This people is experience of the slash and burn farming, and at the moment he is now preparing of the mushroom cultivations. I'm summary of this is discussions. I want to today 3 results, but I focus on the number 2 and the number 1. This is I can repeat of the result among the various areas. It was practiced most intensively in the mountain of the Kyushu in the 1960s. It has declines have ceased to exist in most areas, but it has persisted to the present day. And second one is I focus on some information of this 1960s. We can point out, in the 1960s, slash and burn agriculture may have been maintained as a sustainable food production form in certain communities. However, it is necessary to examine under what conditions slash and burn production is sustainable. Lastly, I consider 2 points of the slash and burn farming. I tried to summarize of the crop history found in the one community. It is not clear the origin of each crops. However, I can point out the character of the Japanese slash and burn. I think one small mountain community is a crossroads center. I think this is from north to this area, and western to this area, and south to here. This is, I think the one is the center of the, this is my study area communities. I think that this is very complicated crops, some things. I would like to clarify the formation process of Japanese style slash and burns. On the other hand, Barry Sensei mentioned sustainability of slash and burn agriculture, local people, forest management. Slash and burn agriculture and so-called sustainable agriculture are by this evidence not necessarily opposite categories. Modern state society indeed show no indication of being capable of truly sustainable forms of slash and burn regimes. But indigenous state society of Amazonia and pre-Amazonian evidently did and continue to do so. I think this the similarity of the local people forest management between Amazonia and Japanese mountain peoples. I think that it is a good comparison of the both of them. This is the last slide. How can this study contribute to the world? I introduced Japanese model of slash and burn culture in these presentations. Its characteristics are intensive slash and burn, diversified crops, commercial and subsistence product. Commercial product looks like tea. I think there are, I think I'm also visiting the Peru, Madagascar, Thailand. This shifting cultivation is major crops, upland rice, cassava, and sorghum. I think there are simple slash and burn farming in these areas. And I think this Japanese type of the this system, I think that this is a very simple type. This is a bit complicated type. It's interesting of the transition from simple case to the complex case. This I would like to promote more these studies. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ikeya-san. Now we have a little bit of time for questions. If any of the audience or the panelists have questions, if it's a panelist, it's actually easier to take questions with this webinar setting. So let me ask, Ikeya-san, you introduced case examples after the Second World War. And do you see major changes before the Second World War and after the Second World War?
Yes, I think that today I focus on the after World War II, but yeah. It is not so, but the evidence before World War II. I would like to comparing the before and after. I think that one hypothesis, this system is produced after the World War II. Not so much long history, but not so sure of this transition.
Do you see any major change, major difference between the practice in Western and Southwestern Japan versus Northeastern Japan?
I see. I think the crops is different. You know the taro is very major crops in the southern part of Japan, but the northern part of Japan, for example, Kitakami Mountain is focused on our foxtail millet and some millet. And also Yamagata Prefecture, also another crops. I want to show you the turnips. This is different crops.
I see.
I think system is a bit very similar, I think. And also another different of the commercial crops in the Kyushu area, tea is very important of the after the slash ban. Looks like semi-domestic crops, but Mount Kitakami, I never know the similar commercial crops. This is also different of the maybe according to vegetation ecosystem something.
Great. Gary, I think, will be talking about millet cultivation in an archaeological and historic context, and Komeye-san's presentation will be focusing on the medieval and Edo period situation. So we'll continue our discussion on the importance of millet cultivation and slash and burn agriculture. Thank you, Ikeya-san.